Hey, it's Geek Public Radio right here on geekpublicradio.com. How are you guys doing? I'm doing fantastic. With me, as always, is Crazy Chris. And tonight we're going to be talking about Xbox picking up some Sony exclusives, Ghostbusters, new game coming out, a lot of new other stuff going on. 6th edition for D&D, just as you bought all your books. All that and more right here on Geek Public Radio.
You're listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys, talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and generally be old in front of your eyes. Not cool. Now, here's Topher and Crazy Chris being all old.
Yeah.
What is up? Oh,
What? It was not like that before. Oh, it's the other camera, so that's a scene from the other. Let's switch the angles again.
but I was just on. I was just on this one when we were talking.
Do you got another scene? It was perfect. We swear, guys. Everything was set up.
You guys
Whatever.
saw it. You go ahead. I'll fix it.
Yeah, you're good. Switch me over. We're set.
Well, I got to fix
Oh,
it.
that. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Geek Public Radio. I am Crazy Chris, and of course, joining me is Topher, the paranormal hobo.
Maybe.
Possibly. At least half of them is. We are so excited to have you guys with us again. We're going to be talking about a lot of stuff, as Topher mentioned. Microsoft gaining access to some Sony exclusives. We've got 6th edition D&D. Scientists having nuclear fusion, and they can't replicate it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed, we've got a trailer for you guys as well. We're going to take a look at that. We're also going to have a pretty lengthy discussion about new games and the state of the video game universe in general. We might even drop a little She-Hulk information on you guys as well. But before we get into all of that, if you guys could do us a huge favor, click the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already, whether you're on Twitch or on YouTube joining us. That actually helps us out tremendously. It helps us break the back of the YouTube gods. And the only way that we can do that is with your help. A lot of you guys have already done that. You guys are involved in every single show. We very much appreciate it. Everybody out there in Geekland, you guys stay geeky. And that helps us to bring the latest and greatest information to you. We try to do this once a week to help you guys out, and also gives us a platform to kind of voice our opinion on the state of the geek world. But the like, the share, the subscribe, all of that stuff is important, because without it, we don't have a show. I mean, we could sit here and blather on about all that, but without your guys' engagement, we don't really get a lot accomplished. So if you guys could do us that small favor, we would greatly appreciate it. But without much further ado, Erica Badu. Anyways, so I'll just talk very quickly about the latest thing that has come out. So apparently last year, scientists were able to finally, this has happened several times. They were able to get nuclear fusion going, rocking and rolling. They were able to generate fusion, right? Which is incredible.
Like cold fusion, right?
Yeah.
We got fission.
We got fission, right? This is fusion. So this is where, they create themselves, they sustain themselves, right? So the two atoms combine to create a heavier atom. It releases a huge burst of energy in the process of doing so, and then it is self-sustaining. The problem is we don't have a lot of technology currently to harness that type of energy and be able to distribute it effectively. But that's not honestly the biggest problem. They've been working on this for 30, 40, 50 years. And each time they're able to get this going, they can't seem to find a replicate. They can't seem to find a way to replicate it, which is frustrating to say the very least. Essentially, it harnesses the power of the sun. If you really just want to break it down without using solar, without using light, it just takes the... sorry, guys, I just realized I was bumping the table quite a bit. But it actually allows them to have a self-sustaining energy production, which would be incredible for renewable energy, right? But the mechanism from which we would deliver said energy is kind of a non-factor at the moment. But they were able to do this. I'm trying to find the lab. I've got this story from Science Alert just from 3 days ago. Trying to find the lab they were actually working in, and this doesn't. Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, National Ignition Facility in California. have been working on this for a decade. August 8th, 2021, they did successfully produce the first ever ignition of nuclear fusion reaction.
Take me to your nuclear vessels.
Great Star Trek reference, right? But the new scientist, this is the first time they crossed the Lawson's criterion in the lab. Nuclear physicist Annie Critcher, at the facility had told New Scientist. So to achieve the effect, they placed a capsule of tritium and deuterium fuel in the center of a gold line depleted uranium chamber, fired 192 high energy lasers at to create a bath of intense X-rays, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And from this, they were able to get to the desired result. However, it is an unreliable method, and because of that, they have not been able to replicate it. Kind of frustrating from a scientific standpoint when you have a certain set of parameters and variables that you go into producing an experiment. It gets the desired results, but then you can't replicate it. It's super obnoxious. We got some chats going on already.
Red VR.
And
who are these old guys? So boring. I love you though.
Oh, okay. I have a feeling I know exactly who that is. Welcome to the show, son. You should wait. What are you doing right now? Go to bed. It's 6:30.
Big beard man scary.
Big beard man is in fact scary. That is an accurate statement. Just remember that. But yeah. So the fusion generator is a thing of the future that is something that they're currently working on. But I'm still saying I'm going off with this. 10 quadrillion watts of power. We're going to be working on this for quite some time. I have a feeling 20, 30 years down the road, we're going to be old men. My son will be a college graduate with a family of his own and ignoring me at that point. So, I mean, we're not going to see that for a very long time.
Like, what are you doing, Sonny?
Did you see the fusion reactor they got? I mean, I'm already missing half the teeth, so it's a small step.
Well, they already have nuclear batteries, so
it's true. So, I mean, it's definitely something that they can do.
Nuclear powered batteries.
But yeah, so this was over a year ago that they did this, but they just released a lot of the information. It's pretty incredible, but so far have not been able to duplicate the success. And most scientists would agree that it's an experiment is a failure if you can't duplicate the results. So I don't know how far along they're going to be, or may or may not be, but definitely something to look forward to in the future. So yeah, that's kind of my thingy there. But what you guys have to look forward to in the future is pretty simple stuff. Okay. You can guarantee yourself that if you don't get a VPN for your home, for your mobile, for your everyday life, you can guarantee yourself that somebody is going to be monitoring every single thing that you do. Right. And because of that, you need to get yourself a VPN like ExpressVPN. This is what we use here in the studio. ExpressVPN, the most high-powered, amazing VPN available on the market. You can do things like
astounding.
It is
tremendous.
That's tremendous. It's astounding. It's amazing. You can actually change your country code of origin to actually view movies from different countries. So no more Netflix saying, "I'm sorry, but this region is out of your country." You don't have to worry about that anymore. And you can support up to 5 devices at the same time using the same VPN. It masks your IP, even from your internet provider, your work. Not encouraging you to do that, but it also enables you to track at high speeds, right? So a lot of people are concerned, oh, my VPN is going to slow me down. Nope, not at all. You're going to absolutely be able to blaze fast speed as you stream, as you download. All of those things will be available for you to do by using ExpressVPN. So if you guys would like to take advantage of the things that we take advantage of, you can get your free 3-month trial at expressvpn.com/Geek Public Radio. Make sure you use our link. That actually helps us out as well. You get 1 month for free. And then in addition to that, you get you get your first month, and then you get 3 months free on us by using our code expressvpn.com/Geek Public Radio. Use the VPN the pros use, expressvpn.com/Geek Public Radio. My goodness, that's just a mouthful. ExpressVPN. But yeah, so again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Check us out online, on Twitch, on YouTube. Like, subscribe, share. Those are the rules. All right, that's enough of the fusion talk.
It's the rules.
It's the rules. That's enough of the fusion talk. Let's talk a little bit about Microsoft picking up Sony exclusives, because this is funny to me.
Well, I told you it was going to happen.
You and I had discussed it,
and you're like, no.
I did not say no. I said it's a potential possibility, but I had a feeling that there was probably some kind of clause or something that Sony might be able to exercise to keep them from being able to release it on Game Pass, because it's not Xbox that's getting it. The way that they're getting around this, Microsoft specifically is getting around this, and because I'm right, it was a clause. Sony is the exclusive console provider, but Microsoft, being a software company, is able to release it on the Microsoft Game Pass, not necessarily Xbox Game Pass. Because of that,
it's already available on PC. All they're doing is adding it to their PC bundle.
Correct. Right. So they're adding access to that from the Game Pass,
which is cool because it means I get to play it again I get to play it for free.
Right. And the biggest name that people are talking about at the moment happens to be Death Stranding, which is from Kojima Studios. After he left Konami, Hideo Kojima created his own little game using Norman Reedus' image and likeness. It's a pretty cool game. It's called Death Stranding. If you guys have not checked that out, I highly encourage you to do it. It's a fun playthrough. Cool story. But that seems to be the biggest one people are talking about, because now it is not simply on the PlayStation. They have gotten the rights to it, and they are releasing it on the PC as well. So there's a PC version. It's not coming to Microsoft, Xbox, but...
Well, that's the thing is they were looking at... when they were talking about it, on the stuff that I read, was they were listing all of these games off, but Microsoft threw up an image or something on their, a background on their Twitter, and people of just the landscape, and somebody actually matched the landscape to something from Death Stranding. So they're saying that that's a hint that at the Games Expo thing, they're going to make the announcement that it's going to be,
and that's perfectly fine. I'm not upset at that. Yeah, I'm not upset with that.
It does seem like that would be a good time to be like, oh hey, by the way, we're this one game that you can only find on PlayStation is now available on PC too. Ta-da! And since they're already working together on a new game, hopefully,
right? And with Kojima Studios being in league with Microsoft and also working exclusively with Sony, this is probably going to be something where we're going to get to see Silent Hill come to the PC as well. So I'm not too terribly upset that Microsoft was able to pull this off. But there's some other games that are coming off. Solar Ash, The Pathless, Maquette, they all landed on Game Pass. They're playable on the Xbox consoles. Now, that's kind of the key. These were supposed to be PlayStation exclusives, but it does appear that Death Stranding is pretty much going to be the only one that's going to be PC only, right? However, it has been teased that it may in fact be released on the Xbox console. Lots of crazy stuff happening right there, but I do think it's kind of funny that Microsoft is able to pull this off. And it's funny because Nintendo seems to be the only company just still standing on its own. Can't touch this. No, right? Can't touch this. And I always find it funny that when the juggernauts go head to head, Nintendo is literally just comfortably bringing up the same profit that they've always brought up, delivering the same products that they've always delivered, consistently pumping out AAA titles, and
DMCAing people who want to
well, at certain point, I get it, but it's an irritating thing that Nintendo does. They squash the little guys, but look at their business model. I don't think they've posted a negative growth quarter in 30 years. That's impressive. I think I believe the Wii was the only time they ever posted a negative.
Wii U.
The Wii U. I
Wii
believe
was fantastic.
Yeah, I believe the Wii U was
Nobody
the only time.
bought the Wii U.
And that's ridiculous. This is the same company that pumped out the Virtual Boy, and they still didn't take a net loss from that. That's ridiculous. I have a Virtual Boy. I still have one.
So if you find one in the box and whatnot, they're worth a pretty penny. People are dropping. I think I had 7 or 8 games. There's only 30 games available for it. I've got dang near a third of them. I do not have my Rip It sign an exclusivity deal. I'm not allowed to drink Rip It's on air anymore. So that's a lie. I just didn't buy any Rip It's. Well, you know what? That's what the new titles of all of our shows should be. Just Rip It, please sponsor us. But yeah, good. I'm glad your game crashed. That makes me happy. I'm glad I could have that type of effect on your gaming while I'm not present. That's power you can't buy. Microsoft. Oh wait, their games crash all the time.
If it's an Activision game, you can guarantee it's going to crash. Anyways, or a Bethesda game for that matter, which consequently Microsoft also owns. So I'm still correct. Anyways, so yeah, lots of exclusive games coming to the Xbox game console. Most of them going to be ported over to the PC Game Pass, which it's all Microsoft Game Pass. So it's just which ones are going to be available on the console. That's up for speculation.
And how much you want to pay.
And how much you want to pay, right?
So if like you just want the PC stuff to do whatever, it's going to be cheaper. I think it's like a couple bucks just for PC games.
Which is fine. I mean, you can't get $12
or whatever, and you can get both of them for the ultimate.
And this is specifically this is from comicbook.com, just so everybody knows like where I'm actually getting this, because I just want to make sure that we're sourcing this correctly. So the things that I'm telling you are specifically from this article. But yeah, and it's Death Stranding specifically was released in 2019 as well, so it might be something that you're not able to see. It might be like a certain amount of time that it's part of the exclusive deal, and then after that, it's going to come to the Xbox, right? Which would just make sense. That they've done that with other console exclusives. Microsoft has things that have come out for them, and they're part of Microsoft for a year, and then they're released on PlayStation later, right? Which always seems to be the case when it's a third-party software studio, like Kojima Studios, EA, which I'm trying to think of the ones that Microsoft doesn't currently own. So yeah, if you guys do have PC Game Pass, keep an eye out because you will be getting some new games, and Microsoft Game Pass as well. You guys will be getting some new stuff that was currently only available on PlayStation. So an interesting development to say the least in the video game landscape. All right, that's pretty much all I got for that. There's not a lot of news available. There's not like a whole list of stuff that's be coming out. So I love that you're just like squiffing your whole face against the microphone. It's like, boring. So yeah, and that brings us to 6th edition, right? I'm excited for 6th Ed.
I mean, from what I've seen,
yeah,
so
this
far,
is the part. Yeah, this is part of your feedback.
Well, I'm still like one of those that was going through buying all the, just now getting all my books in order. I've had them 5th ed since right before they launched. We got some review titles.
Mm-hmm.
But then,
and we were able to play it and write what we wanted.
But I'm sitting on like we play 5th edition. Like I finally gotten.
We finally got games together where we can play.
And the people drug out of 2nd edition into 5th.
That was super exciting.
And
no, they're changing it. But there is some good news on the horizon though. So according to the article I have from PC Gamer here, which why they're writing this, I don't know, but whatever. PC Gamer has kind of confirmed that Wizards of the Coast. By the way, they're
get off our lawn.
You guys are PC gamers, right? Get out of here. You don't belong. Yeah, maybe we should just start writing articles about this stuff when we see them. Anyways, so the new rule set for D&D 6th edition, which they're not calling Wizards of the Coast, is specifically not calling this 6th ed. So before anybody gets their panties in a twist, it's not called 6th ed. It's called 1 D&D.
Well, they've been trying for like since 5th edition has been out to just have it called Dungeons and Dragons,
right? Really, just D&D, right?
Yeah,
and
it's literally not 5th edition. It's not advanced.
Well, they finally gave up. They finally started referencing this. Like
they're like, fine.
But that's the thing. We're gamers. You can't have a D&D 3 3rd edition 3.5, which is what a lot of people cut their teeth on when they got into gaming, right? That was the big one. Your old school gamers were 2nd ed, 1st ed. And then you 3, and then 3.5 is where a lot of casuals came.
Expert guys.
I know. Well, no, I don't. But find me. That's a niche. That's a full niche. Right. Like I said, niche. Anyways,
they reprinted the books. There's enough of us.
Yeah, that's like our Shadowrun players. They're out there. You can find them.
But getting them to the game is
right. Well, on top of that, like it's not a mass appeal thing. Like there's not a lot of people that if you go into a casual gaming circle, they can say, but you say D&D 3.5, most casual gamers are going to be, oh yeah, I know what that is. They're going to know, right? So a lot of casuals cut their teeth on the 3.5. I don't say that to be demeaning. I literally mean just casual gamers were able to pick up 3.5 and start playing D&D for the first time, myself included. I played 1st edition, but never got back into it until 3.5. And from that point, they've had 4th edition. And then they had 5th edition, but it wasn't called 5th. Like, you can't call it all of those 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 3, 5, 4, and then go, Well, this
Two.
yeah, this one's just called this is just D&D. But what edition is it? Like what rule set? No, it's just D&D. But that's not gonna. We can't sort that.
What I've taken the 6th edition thing to come off the way that they're talking about making, keeping what and building on it, so it's just instead of an edition wars, it's just D&D. To me, it sounds like they have decided to and has tried to figure out how to make a role-playing game as a game, like as a service. You know what I'm saying? Like with MMOs and all of that stuff, that you have games as a service. You pay a monthly fee, you get access to all of the stuff, and updates and all the stuff get handed to you. It sounds like with one, and they have now D&D Beyond, and they have the new tabletop.
Yeah,
thing.
and that's kind of, I think, what it appears to be.
Sounds like they're going role-playing game, tabletop game as a service, which means they'll roll all of the digital content out and do all of their updates and have a live game book available.
Which, to move it into the digital age, that's probably a good way to do it. You already have Beyond. You already have the map creation tools. And Wizards said this in a press release. This is a quote directly from them. 1D&D is the code name for the next generation of Dungeons & Dragons that brings together updated rules backwards compatible with 5th edition. Now, notice how Wizards specifically called it 5th edition because we win. D&D Beyond is the platform for your D&D experience, early in development D&D digital play experience that will offer players and dungeon masters full immersion and rich 3D creation tools. So it appears that using maps, things like that. So those game tables that we keep seeing, the ones that I love to death.
They decided to put Fantasy Ground and Roll20 and all of those like, hey, we can do this too. Boom. Here's something that we own that we can actually tie in game maps from our modules, and you automatically have them if you have the content, if you have it saved. Boom.
Yeah. And that's the other thing to take away too is and just to continue part of the quote. Now, this is from Chris Perkins, the D&D designer. He said, "We did a smart thing with 5th edition by listening to the fans. What came out of that process was a system that is stable, well-loved, incorporates the best element of earlier editions." I agree with that. It does. It's a pretty standard system. It's exploitable, but all D&D is. It always has been. It always will be. You will always have power gamers. You will always have meta. It's just a thing you can't really escape unless you are extremely crafty as a DM. Now that we have that, we are no longer in the position where we think of D&D as an addition. It's just D&D.
Okay, that's where it literally comes and sounds like it's
right
as a service.
Their plans for D&D weren't about, quote, taking anything away from D&D players or, quote, changing the stuff that you love. This seems to be, for the most part, true from reviews, from just the things that people have gotten from early releases.
One of the rule changes that I was looking at was that as much as Crawford would jump down people's throats online and on Twitter and stuff about natural 20s not being a critical success on skills and stuff like that, literally just being attack rolls and whatnot. They've actually added that as a thing now. We're in D&D 1 or 1D&D or whatever,
right?
That a 20 is a automatic success no matter what it's rolling.
Right. And natural 20 is now always a success, while a natural 1 is always a failure. Right. Yeah, 100%.
Which sucks, because if you have high enough skills and stuff on a skill challenge, you could still succeed somewhat even if you roll a 1.
Right.
If you can be like, I have an 11.
That was the trade-off.
Boom. Oh yeah, I have.
Yeah, 12. You have an 11. Like, even if you roll, like, if your skill is naturally a 20, and you roll a 1, that's 21 on your skill check, and the challenge was a 21. Congratulations, you hit it.
Right. Like, now I automatically fail because I rolled a 1.
Now I get the other side of it too. Is like there's always a chance for you to screw up because you're in a hurry or whatever. But that's what negative modifiers are for, right?
Right.
That's always what the modifier system has been for.
Yeah, and
is to give you an appropriate challenge based on your condition.
You're like, hey, well, this is going to be kind of difficult. So you're going to have to,
And with a natural 20 succeeding automatically and a natural 1 failing automatically, are we still going to be able to take our 10? Right? Because if that's the case, then why are we rolling anyway?
Right.
So it gets into that weird nuance pattern. But apparently, according to Mr. Crawford, the vast majority of people were playing the game that way, whether it was part of the official rules or not, which when you and I sat down and talked about it, and when I talked about it with our players, I said very specifically, you do not automatically succeed, nor do you automatically fail skill checks. And you're like, that's not a thing that Fifth Ed does. And I thought it was an interesting variation to the rule. And
well, see,
it
always
incorporates
been the rule that, like,
yeah,
people don't.
Well, Pathfinder, I believe it was Pathfinder had that implemented as a rule. 20s will automatically succeed. And I think that's what people were doing is they were taking rules from other systems.
They also had the thing where you had to in order to get a crit, you had to confirm your
right
your 20 with another 20.
Right, and that's I think 3.5 had that too. I think you had to confirm your crit.
See, we never played that one,
which is fine. Like I believe 3.5 had that as a rule. I think 4th edition got rid of it, but I don't remember because I barely played 4th.
I never played 4th because it
rehashed 3.5.
Yeah.
And it wasn't very fun.
Literally, and at that time we weren't really that heavy into miniatures and whatnot. And it literally 4th edition was a miniatures game.
Pretty much. I mean, if you want to break it down to a base level, sure. But this is also so some of the bigger changes, like we talked about critical. So critical hits now appear only to be for player characters. So enemies will no longer be critting, which I don't know how I feel about that, man. If I'm rolling up a human fighter, part of that challenge is going to be the fact that I can levy hit after hit after hit after hit on you. Like that takes away some of my freedom as a DM to be able to roll a sufficiently challenging monster.
Right. No, and that's what it is. It's going to end up taking away with that section. It's going to end up taking away the challenge rating.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already nuked the thing where you can yo-yo back and forth. Nobody's really ever dead. You can do all of this stuff. But
5th Ed did a really good job of incorporating hardcore mode for players who got tired of that yo-yo death, like we talked about. And I've brought this up to our table. I've said this many times. Yeah, it absolutely did. And I knew
I died.
Yep. I knew at some point
that
it was going to happen. I knew it would. And it's an inevitability of 5th Ed. Especially and there are players who can exploit that. As I said earlier, there's a system where as long as you've got 3 people in a party of 5 who have power word healing or some type of like one HP restoring spell as a cantrip, it's a quick act. Like it's done. That's your move action. Boom. You take a spell, light them up. They're back up on their feet. They have 1 HP. And because there's no auto death system, that's it.
It's one of those that we had discussed. I don't know. I think you had stepped outside, but we had discussed like, okay, what you do is shoot me.
Yeah.
Knock me down. Get me dead. Let them, and then you fall back and then heal me and I'll backstep.
Yeah. And it's little things like that you can do, which is why I've outlined some of the rules that I don't allow. Like for those of you out there who might be wondering, do not, if you are a DM, do not allow one player to take both Polearm Master and Sentinel. Don't.
Can you still do that in 5th?
Yes. Yeah. But if you get to level 8, you can have, and there are there's variances to this as well, but I believe it's by 8th level, you can have both Polearm Master and Sentinel. And at that point, you basically become untouchable. There are scant few monsters who have a 10-foot reach, like scant few. It's like 10% of the beast of the monster manual has a 10-foot reach.
Get back.
Yeah, pretty much like boom, stop moving, boom, stop moving, boom, stop moving. And it's stupid because you get a free 5-foot step every round. Like that's outrageously dumb. But yeah, like I said, exploitative. But that's what it is.
At that point, like, you can't move.
There's a new race that they're introducing as well. And then all spells are going to be collapsed into 3 spell lists: Arcane, Divine, and Primal. No more Infernal, no more sorcery.
Primal would cover
wild. I feel like Primal would be like the wild magics, right?
Well, I mean, Arcane, you have the invocations,
right,
and
Divine. I mean, it's Arcane and Divine have always been part of the
So basically, what they're doing is magic, like mage, sorcerer, warlock,
right. Just having different spell lists.
Paladin, and then your druid and ranger.
They're rock, paper, scissoring spell lists. Right. I mean, it's like Arcane beats Primal, Primal beats Divine, Divine beats Arcane, right? They're doing the recycle. They're doing the recycle triangle. But it looks to incorporate some elements from 5th Ed pretty heavily. And since it's backwards compatible, I don't think they're changing a lot of the rules. It feels more to me like a supplemental rule book to expand what's already existing in 5th Ed. And a lot of players are going to do that. So if they implement the not pay to play, but if they implement the system where you can go into D&D Beyond and then generate all these maps, use 6th Ed rules, then DMs are going to have a lot easier time coordinating attacks, mastering the battlefields.
The whole thing is geared
scheduling times to play.
The whole thing is geared to where it will be
fully digital.
Yeah, almost like back in the day when you had his dating me, the games that you'd play with the
VCR.
Yeah, right? You have do whatever, and then you hit play, and it would tell you this thing, and
right. Fast forward to 101.
Well, then they did it with DVDs where you can actually go to chapter 5.
Right. I love Star Wars. Thank you. I do love Star Wars very much. Listen, guys, I know everybody's kind of got their own opinion about, D&D 6th edition. And if you guys are scared by that, I get it. I completely understand. But if you want to know something that's genuinely chilling, super terrifying, and maybe more than just a little bit unsettling, you need to check out the Terrifying Lies podcast. It is an absolutely phenomenal romp into the mind of a very, we'll just call him a disturbed individual. But as with most things, we're not going to use Cartoon Topher with this, but instead we have this lovely, lustrous voice that we're going to present to you a little bit of a sampling of what you can expect from the Terrifying Lies podcast. Take it away, me. Right? It's my voice.
Well, hold on.
Oh, I guess we're going to hold on. My bad. I jumped this on him. I sprang this up. You ever want to know what goes bump in the night and then laugh your way through each horrific revelation? Then you should find yourself listening to the Terrifying Lies podcast. Each episode brings you a new chilling tale written by the deranged and maniacal Craig Nybo. But it's not just the thrilling tales you will hear. Each story is also accompanied by an original score by Nybo himself to help drive home the horror in all of its glory. The tales are woven with expert precision, and the music serves as a haunting backdrop for each telling. A new episode arrives on the first and third Friday of every month at high noon. Special episodes at midnight on the night of every full moon to keep you going. There's also a bevy of special guests to be found, so you don't want to miss a single spooky minute. The Terrifying Lies podcast, your home for horror. You guys do have to check that out, man. Nybo's awesome. His music is really cool. I do enjoy the fact that he puts together these arrangements for each episode, and you get to hear them after the readings or whatever. He's had some interesting guests on there as well. It's definitely worth a look, man. So check that out. Terrifying Lies podcast, man. You guys should give him a listen and then check out everything that they have to offer. So for anybody else who would like additional information about the future of D&D in the 6th edition, you can go to dndbeyond.com. Planescape is going to be involved with this as well, so you guys can actually get all the news right there.
Just release Spelljammer?
I believe so.
They've been working on it.
Because
I've seen.
I want to say it was either this month or this month or last month.
I see all the memes or whatever. I'm going to make a character, this, and it's like characters from quite literally, like characters from a cartoon. I don't know which one because I've been
not sure. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you, man. Got him joining us on the podcast as well. Not on the podcast, but joining us in the chat room as well. Say hello to my son, Mike. That's my son down there. The red VR. That would be my kid coming to harass me on my podcast because that's apparently what he likes to do.
Well, I mean,
I would do it if he had a podcast. I'd be on his podcast all the time, just saying all kinds of stupid stuff. We always appreciate you guys popping in. Again, for those of you who are still tuning in, watching our stuff, man, we really appreciate it. Like and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Share this with your friends if you guys are on Twitch. We appreciate you guys very, very much. Our Twitch numbers have been consistently going up. And we are very grateful for that. So thank you guys for that. I've got some. Yeah. So we are getting into spooky season, everybody. Yeah, it is becoming spooky season. The sun is still very high in the sky. It is still very warm outside, but right around the bend, you can feel the chill in the air. You can feel it coming. And I'm very excited about this. So I want to talk just a little bit with you guys about a new game that's coming out on October 18th. And that's Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed. Now, Tover's got his opinion on this game. I've got mine as well. But what we want to do is show you guys the trailer, so that way you're on the same page as we are. We have watched the trailer. We have seen this. YouTube, don't take us down. For the love of God. We are giving who's done the trailer, by the way. What company does this trailer so we can give them proper credit before we even show it, so they don't yank us off the freaking air. It's so annoying. We're literally a commentary on Geek Life, and we get pulled by showing a trailer, which is something that literally 5 million people on YouTube do every day.
Ilphonic? Is that how you...
Ilphonic. This is a video from Ilphonic. Full credit to Ilphonic. If you guys would like to check out the trailer, go check them out. This is the Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed announced trailer. So we're going to show you guys. There are more trailers that are available if you guys want to check them out. But this is the Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed trailer. Check them out, and then we'll talk about it when we're done. That is a long comment.
Yeah, we saved the world a few times. But between that, we provided a needed service to the masses. That's where you come in. We're passing the torch, or better yet, passing the particle thrower, giving you the tools. Now let's see if you have the talent. Something strange. Keep your head up.
Yeah, there's our flag. Here it comes.
Taking us off the line.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this actually looks like a weird
team working together to watch each other's back.
It looks fun.
Now, I know you're still a ghost-busting trainee, but there's much more here than meets the eye. Take a look at this. You have the chance to see firsthand what exists on the other side. Catching ghosts is only the half of it.
So you want to play as a ghost? I'd like to see you try to take on my team.
Looks great. I'm extremely happy about it. It's looks like a lot of fun. And yeah, Chris, Ghostbusters VR is coming soon. I know you're looking forward to that, buddy. I can't wait to play that with you. That's going to be an absolute blast. So on top of Spirits Unleashed, Ghostbusters VR is a thing that's releasing as well. We got a Twitch comment. Would you read that for me? No, I don't have Twitch pulled up at the moment. I probably should, but I just pulled up.
You should look into me and my twin brothers podcast we just launched. It's unlike anything out there. We were on MTV and dominated Twitch for a while, but got tired of allowing people that think they're reindeer having power over us. Fuck that. Sean and Ryan.com.
There you go. So I don't know what that podcast is about, but there you go, man. There's your free shout out. So go check out Sean and Ryan.com.
Oh yeah, this the whole Twitch council or whatever, and somebody thought they were identified as a deer.
Oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, that's what they're.
God, that's what they were referencing.
Yes.
Holy
they were
crap!
tired of having somebody like
right. Okay, I remember that. Yeah, one of the moderators on Twitch. I don't think they're a moderator anymore, though.
No, they were on like Twitch. They were on like the
council?
representative council.
I thought they got yanked. Didn't they get taken off?
Hopefully they did.
I'm almost positive that they did because they investigated this particular person. I'm like 90% sure, but yeah, go check out their podcast, man. It was what SeanandRyan.com is what it was. Yeah, go check out their podcast as well. Not right now. Stay with this podcast right now. But yeah, go check out their podcast as well. Yeah, over on Twitch and things like that. It's a different type of animal. Yeah, say Mike remembers that too. That was wild. That was a wild time on Twitch. We didn't really get into it too much for obvious reasons. YouTube likes to just slap bans on people if we even just start mentioning things like that. So we just stay the F away from it for the most part. We try to keep things light, friendly, and fun, right? And sometimes you get into these discussions, they're just not fun. You know, they're dour, they're sour, and they're everything in between. So we try not to do that. But yeah, Ghostbusters coming out, man. I'm super excited for Spirits Unleashed. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I think it's gonna do really well, and it's got a very Dead by Daylight type vibe where it's gonna be 4v1, where you're gonna have to assemble a team of Ghostbusters, probably create a character mode. I think that would be really cool.
Well, I mean, that's what I was thinking when it was showing. Either that or you're going to have the option to.
Well, it's Ghostbusters trainees, so I have a feeling it's not going to be you're actually doing missions.
Right, but if you're looking at the images that they put out, it looked like the only one that you could recognize out of the thing was Leslie. What's her name? From the one that shall not be named.
Oh, the Ghostbusters that doesn't exist?
Yeah.
Which is probable. But I mean, there's Ray. Ray's voice is very clear. It's
right.
Clear
I'm just talking about like,
Aykroyd's
the image of the new Ghostbusters or the trainees or whatever.
Which is fine. That doesn't bother me. Incorporating elements from things like that. That's not a big deal to me. But it will be is available. It's available for pre-order as of yesterday. Let's see. Developer. Oh, so Ilphonic also made the. I knew that name. Ilphonic is also responsible for the Friday the 13th game. So this is going to be in that similar vein. So I am absolutely correct. The Friday the 13th game. It's very Dead by Daylight-esque, where you're going to be assembling a team. You're going to be cracking down against the ghost. One player plays that, and the other one, play, etc. Right. So it's going to be interesting. I like the idea of being able to play as the ghost, to be able to utilize the different powers.
That's what
having Slimer. Slimer's a playable character. Let's go.
That's what I was going to say. That it felt like the Friday the 13th thing where you got to play Jason.
Oh, for sure.
And
which
against your friends and what.
At some point we need to get everybody online together, and we need to play the Friday the 13th or Dead by Daylight, because it's a stupid amount of fun. It's very easy and I have a group of people that I could probably get a hold of and just ask them if they wanted to play. Slimer is the clincher, right?
Well, what's funny is like if you get the pre-order.
Hi, Sing. There you go. I said hi to you, buddy.
That's what they said is and the thing is, part of the pre-order is you get early access to Slimer.
Yeah.
And if you do something else, if you get the physical copy, you get another ghost person, like another ghost plus Ecto 1 skins. And
oh yeah, and that's the clincher for Mike is Slimer. So yeah, I'm 100% there for that. And I'll probably pre-order too, because it's definitely a game I'm going to play. And I have a couple of concerns. I always do. Ilphonic made a really great game on Friday the 13th, but the launch was awful, right? But if you're killing me, like those lights are killing me right now. But if they are doing anything like they did with Friday the 13th, it was flashing. They have, if they do anything like they did with Friday the 13th after launch, then I think it'll be just fine. And I'm imagining that they're going to learn the lessons from that particular event. And Friday the 13th since then has been absolutely fine. But yeah, total childhood revisitation when you see Ghostbusters for sure. And I raised my kids right, and my son absolutely loves his VR, or absolutely loves Ghostbusters. It's something that we watch together as a family. It's a fun movie. We've liked them. Watching the new Ghostbusters was fantastic. I loved it, and it hit me right in the feels. I don't care if it was a rehash story. I really don't.
It was a good closure. I mean,
I think so too.
It was honestly, it illuminated on a few things that were brought up in the first two, or the first one. The Shandor, like what all of that, like, so it tied in there, and it gave you an opportunity to bookend a series,
right? And the fact that it closed out the way that it did with the older characters, indicating that they are all living their separate lives now, but while paving the way for new character development, like that's a great way to do a sequel.
Quite
like
literally
that's the way
paved the way for something like this video game.
100%.
Because he went through at the end of the thing. He went through and bought the building, or got the building back.
Yeah,
they're doing all of this stuff, and then now you have the game coming in,
and which is perfect. Yeah,
it would tie to it, but for me, it feels like one of those Facebook mobile game tie-ins. Like when you read it, when you sit down and read the thing, it's like the Stranger Thing video game. Like, but you but it's on Facebook mobile.
Right.
You know?
I get that concern.
That's what
And I'm not going to
feels like.
invalidate what you said, but at the same time, any type of 4v1 style game is going to have it's gimmicky. And I'm not discounting that. It's a gimmicky game. That's what it's supposed to be,
movie
though.
games are gimmicky games.
Look,
Like
the fact that they're able to even make video games, movie adaptations into video games and not butcher them like LJN did in the 80s and 90s, I am thankful for that. Right? That's far cry from what it used to be.
But no, like it just I don't know. Like I like those games. I not played Dead by Daylight, mainly because when I play, I tend to like be the odd duck out on, I'm playing on PC, everybody's playing on something else, or I'm doing this, everybody's doing something else.
Hello, Soul of Food. Hello to you. It is good for you to. We are happy to have you joining our chat. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. But yeah, having that type of nostalgia, that type of feel back, like a Gremlins game. Mike brought up a Gremlins game would be a fun
That would be pretty cool.
I agree. Being able to play as Gizmo, or even just being able to play as some of the Gremlins, right? Using Stripe or the Lady Gremlin. Specifically, it'd have to be off of Gremlins 2. But you could honestly start it off as a small one, and you get to play as the human, and then you alternate between Gizmo and main characters. Eluding my brain right now. But you get to alternate between those, and even like doing the mom mission where she stuffs them in a microwave. Come on, that's iconic. That is like one of the most iconic horror movie death scenes ever, and it was in a Steven Spielberg flick, right? Like that's incredible. I love it. Street Fighter the movie on Saturn, dude. We don't bring that up. That's go home, Mike. We're done. You're banned from the chat forever for that. Street Fighter movie.
Oh
God, that was so bad.
And that was like Raul Julia's one of his last ones.
Yeah. It's just that sucks. But this was the freaking stupidest part about that movie, or about that game. It was a video game adapted into a movie, and then the movie was adapted into the video game of the same. Like there's meta, and then there's just stupid. And that was just stupid. That was ridiculous. But yeah, Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed comes out October 18th. Looks to be around, or October, I believe October 18th. Did I just get that right? October 18th, yeah.
I was saying, you looked it up before the show.
I literally did. And then my brain was just like...
You had the same question.
Well, because the pre-order is available on August 18th, and so I was like, maybe that's where I got 18 from, right? And so I second-guessed myself. But yeah, October 18th, the game will be available. It's available for pre-order right now. If you do pre-order the game, you do get access to Slimer as a character, so that would be cool.
And I think new skins for the proton pack, or the
I don't see that. Oh, custom particle thrower, proton pack, and then special clothing colors. So that something neat. It is usually like 90% of the time. Yeah, it's skin based, which is fine. They're
gonna have things you can buy. You can buy skins and stuff.
Major Drugs were used to that. Yeah, I wasn't that a character? Major Drugs was it? I feel like that was one of the characters from that flick. But yeah, so Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed, man, I'm excited for it. I know you think it's a little gimmicky, but it's definitely something that we're gonna play on stream, for sure.
No,
we'll even get Mike available for that as well. We'll have to get it all on the same platform though. That'll be the problem. I think we'll probably have to do it on PC. Most likely.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna stream and make it easy for everybody to stream,
it'd be PC.
PC would be the easiest.
Which is fine. I'm not a huge PC gamer when it comes to that type of game, but I'll make do and we'll have fun.
Because all you have to do is open up your StreamYards and
and then we all just
share the screen.
Yep. So we'll have a lot of fun there. For those of you who are still with us, man, we really super appreciate that. If you guys can stick around for several more minutes, that helps generate our views. That helps get our sponsors up. We've got several of them available. But if you guys would like to have access to, I don't know, a bevy of information at your fingertips, be able to watch movies or buy new games, for instance, maybe even purchasing the new Ghostbusters game or pre-ordering it. Or if you just want to learn how to code because the internet told you that's what you should do when you can't find a job, right? That's what you should do, learn to code. All of those crazy things are available to you in a special offer that we have from Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is an incredible source that you can find all types of things. And you get them bundled, special discount rates, and each time that you use our link, it helps us out too. So every single thing that we offer you guys helps benefit us, But at the same time, we only offer those things to you because we use them as well. When we want to mass produce or we want to mass purchase, that's what we use. We use Humble Bundle. And you know what? I could ramble on about Humble Bundle all day long, but we have the most adorable cartoon character ever conceived. And I think that's probably a perfect segue into it. You know what? Cartoon Topher, take it away. Tell them about Humble Bundle.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Humble Bundle sells games, ebook software, and other digital content. Its mission is to support charity while providing awesome content to customers at great prices. They launched in 2010 with a single 2-week Humble Indie Bundle and have grown into a store full of games and bundles, a gaming membership service, a game publisher, and more. Join them and pay what you want for curated bundles of games, media, and software. All proceeds support charity and the Electronic Frontier Foundation. Visit a link on the screen and in the description of the video to support the channel and help the cause.
Everything's fine. All right. So yeah, adorable cartoon Topher. And we are coming up on that time, folks. So I want to get to the last thing we were going to talk about, and it's specifically the header of the show. We just kind of got there was a lot of stuff. We covered a lot of stuff, and this show went by quick.
No, yeah, it did.
But we want to know where all the good games have gone, right? A trend that I've noticed, I've been talking to several of my friends, inside work, outside work, at the bars, online, all these things. It seems people have like a particular thing that they enjoy to play, and they don't really deviate from that. Like Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed. While it looks like a fun game to play, it's still molded in the style of Dead by Daylight. It's still molded in the style of Friday the 13th. Most of your first-person shooters are consistently rehashed imaginings of Call of Duty or Battlefield. They're just reskinned, right?
You know, they have a different button configuration.
And it's frustrating. And even the most egregious offender, in my opinion, of this is Madden. By far, it just released today.
It's the same game. Just different people.
Like they moderately upgrade the engine. And you know what? I worked for a company that did that. I worked for a company that had the same product year in, year out with updated code. And that's all it was. Nothing really, like maybe one or two new features.
Well, like they just scan new players, make sure the roster is up to date, and then send it back out.
Which I understand that's probably a lot of work, especially with something like the NFL, where there are, hundreds of new players that come into the league and you have to accommodate for those, right? But at this point, your texture packs are just your texture packs. Yeah, and there you go. There's no incentive to innovate. That's freaking quote that. No incentive to innovate. And there's not, because year after year after year, you, the player, me, the player, we consistently feed them cash. And we will keep doing it. It's a spiral of viciousness that we all participate in. We're all willing victims at this point. I can't really bitch too much about it because I like my Call of Duty. I have fun when I play it. But it's not even the game so much as it is the people that I'm playing with. Fallout isn't a fantastically wonderful game as far as Fallout 76 is concerned. I play because my friends play. I play because I enjoy interacting with them and finding new stuff with them, exploring with them. I enjoy that. It's the multiplayer experience for me, right? Dead by Daylight, I will say, even Friday, that was innovative. Having the 4v1 where one person gets to control the monster. That was an innovative thing, but now they're reskinning and rehashing it. And you have Madden, who's literally just released today. Pretty people got, early and whatnot, but people have already bashed it as just being another rehab. But like, this, guys. We know it's going to be the same game.
FIFA is going to be the same game.
Right.
Madden is going to be the same game.
But even FIFA, like they'll still, it's still better. Like that's the thing with FIFA.
Need for Speed is still going to be a need for. They're going to have new locations, new races, new whatever,
and that's fine.
It's still going to be the same mechanics. It's still.
But see, that's fine, and I get that the need for Speed franchises, and I understand the need for franchise titles.
Right.
I get that too. Halo is a similar example to that, but even Halo tried new things with ODST and what Infinite. As bad as it was, like it's just all of those things. They were trying new stuff, and I can appreciate that. They were trying new characters. They were trying, a new story. That's fine. Final Fantasy. has been running for as long as it has. They're coming out with 16 very, very soon. And Final Fantasy 16 gets into a whole new system of combat. They're doing new spells, but it recycles some of the same old stuff, but it's always a new story, right? It is a similar style game, but it's usually always a new story. Even though they're sequential in a way, they always do the new stories. That's how you keep a franchise going, and they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
Or you do the one thing that drives me crazy, and because everybody's going to it, is you make it as a service, and you just you pay the monthly fee, and you have all the updates, and it's an ever changing. Fallout 76, for example.
Yeah, and I mean even Fallout 5 that they're going to be developing. I'm sure Elder Scrolls 6. Yeah, right. I'm sure Elder Scrolls 6 is probably just going to be a reskinned Skyrim. I have no doubt of that. It's going to be fun. We're going to exploit it. We're going to break it because it's a Bethesda game, but it's going to be reskinned.
Well, the cool thing about with that is if you look at what Bethesda has done, other than putting out Skyrim for the last 15 years, over and over and over and over, repackaged and reformatted, is if you look at each of their EOS things, they have upgraded the engine. They have made like better graphics. They have more interesting stories.
Yeah, as much of a running joke as it is, they have improved some of the functionality of their game over time.
It's just that they release the same game like every
It's the same engine. I mean, for crying out loud, Fallout 76 had such a big issue with one of the events that they were having because the developers flat admitted they took an event from Skyrim and ported it over to 76, reskinned the characters. And there was a glitch in that service. There was a glitch in that particular mod or in that particular event that came over to 76. People were stealing stuff from other players because they were able to, because they're like, oh, this is the exact same thing. I wonder if this glitch works. Yep, sure does. And then they had to repatch it. It's like, why didn't you just create a new one? I get it. You're saving time. You're shortcutting. You're cutting and pasting. I get it.
They're on GTA 6 or 5. Yeah, 6.
I think 6 will be a better engine because it kind of has to be. That 5 has been out for over a decade.
So is Fallout 5.
Fallout 4.
4, yeah.
It has, and
Skyrim 15 years.
I mean, yeah, we're working on quite a bit there. But yeah, so let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about the new games? Mike, you've got your opinions on it, man. Games as a service is a joke. Pretty much any EA game is just a freaking reskin, repackage. But lots of stuff, man. And it is, and it's true. And I get that, you don't want to overhaul it completely, and you do want to keep upgrading, and there is a limitation of engine availability. I get all that. But I don't know, man. I just feel like this is why indie games are as popular as they are. This is the reason. Because people are craving new stuff.
I don't really play an indie game or a AAA game on the regular.
No, all my Steam games are pretty much all indie developed games. And
I've been playing Rust a lot lately. I finally survived an entire wipe on a server, and it made me like, yay, I'm getting good.
I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn, that was a great example of a AAA title that ended up being a great game. And you know what? Maybe Bethesda is onto something with Starfield. They're trying something new. Good on them, right? I hope it's successful. But I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on in the market. I was going to get into the 2022 upcoming game releases so you guys could have a feeling about what's coming out in the fall. But I think we'll just save that to next show. A lot of stuff to talk about in the covers, man. What do you guys think about Microsoft having some Sony exclusivity games available for the Game Pass? Obviously, no substance in some of these newer games. Ghostbusters is coming out. Nuclear fission or fusion is a thing that could be happening. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And as always, like and subscribe, share the channel. If you guys would like to support us in a real physical way, we do have some awesome exclusive merch that you can only get on tshirtmix.com that is specifically engineered for GPR. So Topher, cartoon version, of course. Take it away for us, man. Tell them about tshirtmix.com while we wrap this up.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Need your fix for fun shirts and things? The perfect place to get geeky, fun t-shirts and other merchandise, including tumblers, baseball caps, and so much more, is tshirtmix.com. Hundreds of designs you can choose from, as well as being the home of Geek Public Radio merch store. Come get our faces on your threads, or just grab one of the several funny designs that we have available. Just go to tshirtmix.com and check out all the fun. More designs are added daily. That's tshirtmix.com for all your novelty tees. Have fun, look around, and grab some awesome t-shirts.
All right. Cartoon Topher, you're adorable, brother. But I think that's going to do it for us here.
He looks so much better than I do.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue that. He's adorable and he probably kick my ass. So I'm just gonna cartoons have an amazing power. So Topher and I were discussing, by the way, just while you guys were watching the advert, we super appreciate it. I think we're gonna do something, right?
Yeah. Well, if people don't go to the merch store and pick up merch and start helping us that way, then we're going to start releasing our podcast as a service.
Right. It's a podcast service, right? Everybody else is doing it. Let's do this. Podcast as a service, man.
So your monthly fee, you get access to our
right.
podcast.
For a monthly fee. Wait, isn't that how subscriptions work anyway?
Yeah, but
it's a service.
It's
We're
a
here for
service.
you, only you. Like never anybody else, just for you guys.
And look forward to all of our RPG games that we have that are in the works as a service.
We are, yeah. We are all of our games are going to be as a service.
And
Everything that we do is a service.
they're
Actually,
gonna
I'm
be
drinking this drink as a service.
They're going to be on as a service and on the blockchain. So just hit as many keywords as we possibly can.
Make sure you purchase our NFTs, guys. Jesus.
Each RPG will be an NFT. You can own the whole book.
All right, man. I have been Crazy Chris.
I'm Topher.
You guys have been an awesome part of our geek family. We love you. Stay geeky, my friends. Peace.
You've been listening to the GPR podcast, where two old guys talk about old. Talk about new games, movies, most things geeky, and try not to poop in their diapers while they're talking. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find us on Twitter at Free Geek Radio, on Facebook and Instagram at Geek Public Radio, and the website geekpublicradio.com. We'll see you next time.